Hold up a second, everyone. Did Ripple just slide into the Fed now behind everyone's back? Because what we just found, it's not speculation. It's not some sort of crypto rumor. This is real. It's documented. And honestly, it's kind of freaking insane. We're talking government level infrastructure. Ripple's name, it's right there, baked right into it quietly, strategically, like a chess move made months ago that no one caught until now. And I'll say this, if you hold XRP, this might be the moment you've been waiting for. The connection, it's deeper than expected. And what it signals for Ripple's role in the future of US payments, let's just say you're going to want to wait and you're going to want to see this with your own eyes. Without further ado, folks, let's roll that beautiful intro. Welcome back, everyone. Real quick, if you are getting value out of this content, hit that thumbs up button for me. It's a free way to support the channel, and it tells the algorithm that this content matters. More likes equals more reach equals more people waking up to what's really going on, especially what happened to my prior channel with over 65,000 subs. We're starting back from the ground, working our way up. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. Without further ado, sit back, relax, kick up those feet, and let's jump into a Bitcoin coming in at $104,693. I mean, the market's pretty flat all around. Ethereum coming in at 2,500, XRP $2.15. Not really much to report on these markets. Here's the Bitcoin chart. If you are a member of the Patreon group, make sure you go and check the latest post from about, I don't know, a couple hours ago. We broke down where the market's going. We're telling you exactly what you should be paying attention to and what we are looking for. Here's the Bitcoin chart. Here's your 50 moving day. Got to stay above. It's that simple, everyone. 103K. Stay above. We go up and we make our first move, 117 to 120. If we fall under it and we get that closure under it, Bitcoin's going down to that lower to mid $90,000 region. When we talked about this, and this is going to lead us into the rest of the video, Trump, he sparked the fire, if we can get rid of that, under Congress, right? Industry leaders are calling nonstop. Everyone's demanding clarity. Market structure plus the stablecoin bill may pass before August. This isn't noise anymore. This is regulations that are about to happen, and XRP was built for this exact moment. Now, even though we didn't see rate cuts, and we talked about rate cuts a lot on this channel because they are very important for the cryptocurrency market, Switzerland enters an era of zero interest rates. Now, let me tell you and give you some data here. If we look back to when the Fed cut rates back in 2019, the Fed cut rates 3 times starting in July after a tightening cycle. What happened? The S&P rallied 29% over the next year. That is massive for the S&P. Bitcoin climbed from $3,500 to almost $10,000 right before the COVID crash. In 2020, Fed slashed rates to 0 in March and launched QE. Bitcoin that year went from 4,800 to 64,000. Ethereum went from $110 to 4,300. Chainlink went from $2 to $50. Everything was moving and flying. Without liquidity, innovation stays cheap, but prices stay suppressed. And that's what we are seeing now. Don put this out, and this is awesome right here. Talking about real world assets and tokenizations. Let's zoom out here and connect the dots that most people are missing on this. Right now, we got about 15 to 20 billion in real world tokenized on-chain. That might sound like a big number, but here's the jaw dropper. By 2030, experts are projecting 20 to 30 trillion. We're at 15 to 20 billion, and the experts are projecting 20 to 30 trillion within the next 5 years. That's a 1,000x move, and that's not hype, everyone. That is adoption in motion. This is the infrastructure phase, and this is where Ripple comes in. Ripple isn't just focusing on cross-border payments anymore. This isn't 2013. They're laying the rails for real-world asset tokenization. Their work with institutions like HSBC, the Republic of Palau, and most recently Fubon Bank in Hong Kong, it shows that they're playing at the highest level, not just in crypto, but in global finance. And let's talk about how real-world assets change everything. Real estate. Imagine this for a second. Fractionizing a $10 million building and letting investors from across the globe own pieces of it for just a few $100, that's tokenization. Treasuries and bonds. Right now, Ripple is involved in conversations to bring sovereign debt markets on chain. This creates instant liquidity, real-time settlement, and at the end of the day, multi-day clearances. Auto loans, carbon credit, art, commodities, these are already being tokenized. The infrastructure is being built right now, often in silence until it suddenly becomes the standard. And here's the kicker. Ripple isn't doing this alone. They're working closely with players like Mateo, who they acquired, Tokyo Mitsubishi, the Digital Dollar Project, and even collaborating with central bank digital currency projects globally. Because this is not about creating a new system. It's about upgrading and updating the one that we already use. So let that all sink in. Ripple is positioning XRP and the XRP ledger as the underlying protocol for the next 30 trillion in value to move seamlessly, globally, and on chain. And you are early. This isn't speculation anymore, folks. This is deployment. Now let's jump into this. This is the big news right here. Jess Chang, former Ripple legal counsel, specialized in UCC Article 4A and her role of payments rule making at the core of FedNow. In this interview below, she goes on to explain the relevance of Article 4A to the cryptocurrencies today. UCC Article 4A equals all FedNow transfers. This is all from Smoke. You don't follow him, follow him. The man's an absolute monster when it comes to research and digging everything up. I want you to listen to her. And then I want to talk about what UCC Article 4A is, what it's doing, the IMF, and then the connection that I'm going to show you after this. So stick around.
So I am the vice chair of the Payments Subcommittee of the UCC Committee.
The Payments Subcommittee of the UCC Committee. Okay, so one of our substantive committees here in the business law section is dedicated to all aspects of the Uniform Commercial Code, and you are affiliated specifically with its Payments Subcommittee.
That's right.
So what does that mean in 2018 in this era of cryptocurrencies and whatnot?
It's an excellent question, and I will say it means a lot. So UCC Article 4A in particular is what I work on with folks. And it sounds a bit dry. You know, the letters UCC may be a bit intimidating to folks.
Well, it doesn't seem dry to me. I used to chair the UCC committee and learned how to spell it at an early age.
I agree, it's fascinating. And I will say, though, that when you talk about fintech, new technologies, cryptocurrencies, they're still anchored in payments. So it's really valuable to have a solid background in financial services, the established industry, the laws that apply. And I would say the resources within the ABA, especially with the UCC committee, I would say, totally invaluable. You have experts who do this, their day job is to advise on UCC 4A or payments matters.
Okay.
And for some of us, we don't get to focus on that all the time. That might come up here and there and be a critical issue, in which case, just being able to tap into, professional contacts, resources that the business law publishes and provides, that's hugely invaluable.
So I'm going to guess that and I'm sort of going.
All right, we've heard enough. Let's zoom out for a second here. Because what I'm about to say might change the way you see Ripple and XRP forever. Most people don't realize this. Jessie Chang, former legal counsel at Ripple. She was one of the key architects behind UCC Article 4A at the Federal Reserve. Now, what's UCC Article 4A? I'm going to tell you. It's the legal backbone behind how wholesale real-time payments are handled in the U.S. banking system. And it's the core legal framework for FedNow. Let that sink in for a second. So a Ripple insider helped write the rules for how money moves at the highest level of U.S. finance. This isn't a partnership announcement. This isn't a speculative guess. This is infrastructure. Ripple collaborated directly with the Fed on the Faster Payments Task Force. And they weren't just giving feedback, they were shaping the design. And it gets even deeper than that. And you can see this article pulled up right here with the FedNow, and they mention RippleNet. The IMF, yes, the International Monetary Fund, published a diagram linking RippleNet and the FedNow under the same umbrella of DLT integrated payment systems. You think XRP is just a speculative coin? Ripple's tech is literally being positioned as part of the future global financial infrastructure from the Fed to the IMF. And here's the kicker. When central banks, international regulators, and US payment law all align behind a shared architecture that Ripple helped design, you're not betting on hype anymore. You're investing in the plumbing of the next financial system. And XRP is the liquidity that can quietly power it all behind the scenes. No headlines, no spotlight, just performance. Let all that sink in, folks. I'm going to leave it just right there. Sounds like a good stopping point. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I will see everyone bright and early tomorrow morning.